The adage holds that there is no living saint. Those who became pronounced as saints were pronounced saints after their death. And that is in tandem with the Yoruba saying that ọjọ́ takú làá dèrè èèyàn ò sunwọ̀n láàyè. You become an idol when you die. You are not appreciated while alive. But we have to note that it is not every dead person who becomes a saint or pronounced a saint, but those who led saintly lives. Well, who becomes a saint? What makes a person to become a saint varies from people to people. For the Catholic Church, you live a life of devotion to the church. And they expect that praying in your name to God, some miracles must happen. Sometimes, whether the miracle happened or not is left to plus or minus. But that is for the Catholic Church or for Christianity and religion. Yeah, and religion. Those idolized as saints by Muslims. Some are fast, some imams, sheikh, and the rest of them, included those who became Ajagbemokeferi, one who shouts on unbelievers. So, by shouting on unbelievers, he is considered a man of God. Shouting on believers means shouting on unbelievers, those considered to be unbelievers by Muslims. So, a courageous sheikh or imam or afa who could confront those they tag unbelievers, confront them, shout them down, fight them, you become a saint, a honored Muslim leader who is considered to be in the right hand of God as God's messenger. So, who becomes a saint? What are the yardsticks for becoming a saint? Vary from people to people. Now, what makes Muhammadu Buhari to become an idol, a saint for Nigeria's rulers? Yesterday and today, Nigeria's rulers of yesterday and today, and those itching to become Nigeria's rulers. What makes Muhammadu Buhari to become an idol that they are now praising? Than he is in their circle. As you are a Muslim before you are pronounced a saint by Muslims. As you are a Catholic or any other religious organization that will pronounce you a saint for your activities in their midst, in their name, or in the name of their religion. So it's the same with our politicians eulogizing Muhammadu Buhari as a great statesman. But how many sensible, common Nigerians will regard Buhari as an idol, a saint? How many? Because they were shouting, they were miserable under the rule of Buhari, 8 years of brutal misrule, perpetuating the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community and imposing on Nigeria herdsmen terrorism, doubling himself as Nigeria's petroleum minister without accounting for anything, whether as the president or as the petroleum minister. Some people are over generous with Muhammadu Buhari, saying that he was a good man, but he surrounded himself with evil people. Huh? Tell me how a good person will surround himself with evil people. The English people say, show me your friend, I tell you who you are. Goats move in company of goats. Sheep may move in company of sheep. So cow in company of cows. So how do you tell me somebody, a good person, surrounds himself deliberately, knowingly, perpetually? Not that he realized his mistake and corrected himself. No. He worked together perfectly with those now called devilish, while he is termed a saint. You see the irony of it. But again, what do you want somebody like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to say about Muhammadu Buhari, who handed power to him justly or unjustly? Muhammadu Buhari's presidency made sure that everything worked to make Bola Ahmed Tinubu to succeed Buhari, and that was what happened. So why will somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his cohorts not eulogize Muhammadu Buhari? But I've said that those who don't see anything wrong with the presidency of Buhari are not likely to do better than Buhari. I was saying that before the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and my prediction has come true. As a matter of fact, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing worse than Muhammadu Buhari because he has added his own. The late president Umaru Musa Yar'Adua also became a saint after his death, or even before his death. He was a saint to the Fulani Muslim imperialists and other Muslims who considered it right to wage war on a religious community, a Muslim community that was not violent and protesting haram, Boko Haram, protesting that. And you wage war on the community. And that was the inheritance of Nigeria from Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. endless war against the Boko Haram Muslim community, a ravaging war against the Boko Haram Muslim community, a war ravaging human lives and economic resources of Nigeria. And of course, you go and look at the monuments named after Umaru Musa Yaradua, and is considered to be a saint by those who don't know what it means to be a saint. A godly person. That is what a saint is supposed to mean. Godly. But again, what does it mean to be godly? Is it by being religious or by being humane? Being humane, being considerate, being kind, being generous, self-sacrificing. But for religious people, for politicians, they have their own criteria. If you are a critic of a bad government, of bad rulers, will they ever consider you to be a saint or an enemy? That's the way it goes. Persecution of truth tellers, which was what happened to Jesus of Nazareth. But of course, he became idolized beyond imagination, declared to be God by Christians, by those who created a religion in his name and turned him to God, saying he's God. He has all powers. There's no name like his name. So you get the idea of how saints are made. Jesus of Nazareth was turned into Jesus Christ by those who created a religion to rule the world in his name. Somebody was not a politician. He had no church, no congregation, no nothing. Just a preacher, an itinerant preacher, calling people to love of God and neighbor, period. Not to church in the morning and evening, daily, weekly, and so on. No, no congregation. He was not bishop, let alone, he was not bishop, he was not pope, he was not reverend father, he was not pastor, he was pastor, pastoral of souls. But not in the religious sense. In the moral sense of love God, love your neighbor, be charitable, because blessed are the merciful, they will receive mercy. Blessed are peacemakers, they will be called children of God. Those are the things that you can attribute to Jesus of Nazareth. But Jesus Christ is somebody who says to have seen God, to have seen him is to have seen God. Did Jesus of Nazareth say that? Or the creators of the religion says that in their own scripture, because that scripture was not there when Jesus of Nazareth was alive. So I hope now you understand how Muhammadu Buhari, who doubled himself as Nigeria's petroleum minister, accounting for nothing and skyrocketing fuel price, though Bola Ahmed Tinubu has surpassed him in that, but he left petroleum price at a staggering amount of Nigeria in his own context. Not to compare him with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because Tinubu is in another class altogether. But within his own context, Buhari's context, the price was staggering. You see it? This price was staggering compared with people's salaries as at that time. Plus, you don't want to count how many people were sacrificed to the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community under Muhammadu Buhari, both as civilians and as military people, or corruption non-accountability, mass abject suffering, insecurity. So ask yourself, what has turned Buhari into an idol for Nigeria's politicians? And if he was an idol, why are people not happy that the University of Maiduguri is now named after him? But as usual, Nigeria's rulers will impose it. Nigerians don't have to like it, they will impose it. Seyi Makinde, who is itching to become Nigeria's president, who is not saying it, is also doing the same thing in Oyo State, changing Polytechnic of Ibadan to Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic, whether the people like it or not. So, Buhari has become an idol for Nigeria's rulers because they don't think of doing, they don't see anything wrong in what he did because they want to do worse, given the opportunity, just as Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing. That is what has made Muhammadu Buhari become an idol, a saint of Nigeria's politicians.